Unearthly Cosmetics have revealed their Spring Magic collection, which is going to be available for pre-order on the 4th of April. I have to say a massive thank you to Makeup on Your Radar. These are their pictures and I'm taking some information from them. So let's discuss this one. Despite saying that they're having a pre-order, it does look like they are intending to ship pretty soon after, because although the pre-order is the 4th of April, their estimated shipping dates are the 18th to the 26th. So pretty soon afterwards. So let's start by talking about the big ticket item. This is the palette which is retailing for $78 US. And I feel like the bottom row is very, very springy and it makes sense. However, I personally kind of wish it wasn't there because I much prefer the first two rows. Again, totally understand their logic and their rationale for including it. I just feel like it's a bit safe. Do you know what I mean? And even when you see the swatches, it's like the first two rows are the really, really interesting bits. I do think it looks nice. I'm not sure if it necessarily warrants the $78 price tag. It feels quite high for that, but I mean, it looks quite pretty. Then we have their Spring Magic blush palette, and that is retailing for $32 US. And I feel like that is a really good price. I mean, you're getting 6 quite big blushes for $32, so it's a little over $5 each. I quite like the packaging. I think it's really, really interesting. I love that punchy pinky violet. That's really, really unusual. I always find the issue with things like a blush palette are you might only want 1 or 2 shades out of them, so that can be a little bit of a problem. Personally, I think these are really, really cool. I couldn't use a lot of them though. So for instance, that dark purple, as cool as it is, that ain't gonna look right on me. But the rest of them are quite interesting. I think this is actually quite interesting. They then have 2 incandescent liquid highlighters. There's one in Awaken and one in I'm Sprung. And they're $15 US each. There's something about this that reminds me ever so slightly of P. Louise's sort of like glitter spray, you know, the highlighting spray. It gives a similar effect, but I feel like $15 isn't bad for this at all. I just don't really tend to use liquid highlighters that often. And they also have a Ghoul Glaze lip gloss in the shade Pollen for $14 US, but I couldn't find any information on that. Now you can bundle everything together for $138, which would give you the most savings. I haven't gotten anything from Unearthly in a really long time. I mean, I haven't gotten anything from them since they were Alien Cosmetics. I kind of feel like the palette is almost like 2 different 9-pan palettes. Like over in the right hand corner, you've like quite an interesting dark bit. I don't know. I don't love the construction of it, but I mean, these things are always so subjective. So where I don't like something, somebody else is going to be like, no, it's amazing. And then they'll do a fabulous look with it, which, you know, fair. I feel like probably the better items are maybe like the blushes and the highlights, because I feel like the price is a little bit more reasonable. I feel like $78 is quite expensive for that. And like the shimmers do look very pretty, but I'm not sure if they necessarily warrant that sort of a price tag. Unfortunately, I couldn't see what the lip gloss looked like, but I mean, let's be real. There's lip glosses everywhere. You can't help but leave the house and see a lip gloss somewhere. Like, it's just everywhere. I don't know. Unearthly just doesn't call to me these days. I feel like they have a lot of like pinky purpley tones and things, which isn't a bad thing, but it doesn't fully vibe with me, you know? And this kind of reminds me ever so slightly, it's not a direct dupe at all, but it is giving me a little bit of like Blend Bunny. Again, not a bad thing at all. They're a very good brand, but I feel like maybe the Blend Bunny blush palette suits my complexion more. I think it would be very, very smart if over time maybe they came out with refills for that. I again feel like singular blushes are just generally better for us because we don't end up with as much waste. But that's just me. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Are you interested in this or not?